Peace, family. It's the Hoodmystic, representing www.hoodmystic.com. Just want to say thank you to the Patreon family, patreon.com/TheHoodMystic. That's where we're doing the monthly readings now up until the 14th. And just want to once again say thank you. Deep gratitude for the Patreon family for constantly supporting. And yeah, man. Today I have a message. I wanted to be clear, wanted to be up here early, because I have a lot to say. And not on anything negative, just a lot of positive energy that I just want to bring to light, and I don't want any disruption. So hopefully I'm coming across clear. People can hear me, and we can really start to do this. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit, because I really want this message to be clear, and I don't necessarily want any disruptions. And so before we get into the astrology, we live, we good, peace. And so before we get into this astrology, indeed, I'm gonna start coming on earlier, because I feel as though people either want to hear this message or they don't want to hear this message. But whether what time I go live is unimportant, because it's more or less of wanting the message or not. And so the title of this video is called Ignorance. And so before I get into the astrology, I'm going to fully delve into ignorance and what I mean by ignorance. Sound is a little weird. That's crazy. So I'm gonna just try to go through this anyways. I don't know why the sound is like that. Then I did a test run and it was fine. So I guess it's something with YouTube. So hopefully it's not too bad. Yesterday when I was listening to this, I just turned the value down and it was fine. So just hopefully the message is clear enough that you can understand. And so once again, the title of this video is called Ignorance, and really it is dealing with the ignorance of your wealth. Alright, cool. And the ignorance of your wealth is a key component to the spiritual thing. And when we speak about wealth, I know a lot of people think that you talk about finances or money. And wealth can manifest as finances or money, but that is not the root of wealth. The root of wealth is within you, and it is your talent. And so when we were discussing the new moon in Virgo video, which happens September 9th, and the link to that video is in the descriptions, we brought up the parable of the talents. And so the talent is like a gold coin. And for modern use, a talent would be like equivalent to $5,000. And so the story goes that a master left his servants with talents, and he gave one person 5 talents, the other person 3 talents, and the third person 1 talent. The one with the 5 talents, he took those 5 talents and made another 5 more talents. And so when the master got back, he was happy. And then the other guy who had 2 talents, he took those 2 talents and got 2 more talents. And so the master was happy. And then the last guy who had 1 talent, he looked at what the other people got, and he said, forget that, I'm gonna just bury my talent, so therefore I don't lose anything and I don't gain anything either. And so when the master got back, the master just sent them into the darkness. And so what that's basically saying is that whoever has more, they'll get more. You ever heard that saying, the rich get richer and the poor don't get shit? That's because rich people, wealthy people have a system. And if you don't have a system for making money, it don't matter how much money you get. It's just a ticking time bomb till you becoming broke again. So it's very important to cultivate your talent and get into the use of growing your talent and cultivating your talent. Because if you're ignorant of this, you'll suffer into darkness and you'll be in fear and you'll be wondering, why is me? And so a lot of people may think that they have no talent, or they have no skill, or they have no ability. I want to challenge you on that today. I feel as though we all have a talent. I feel we all have an ability that we can utilize at this moment. And it's not a talent that you can kind of like shrug off like it ain't nothing. I think this is a serious talent. The talent to love yourself, to love your spiritual being, to love your innermost. So if you don't have shit, you have that. And a lot of people who have the financial and the fiduciary type of things like that, they don't even cultivate this. They can't even understand this. So even wherever you find yourself in this moment, the ability to not ignore your soul is available to you. Your ability. And so when we talk about spirituality, you talk about your soul, we're not talking about it for giggles and, for high fives and to look cool. We are dealing with our spirituality for a sense of peace, a sense of ease, a sense of magic, a sense of ability throughout life. We're not doing this, to be cool on the internet. We're doing this to change our lives. So the first step is loving yourself, loving your soul. That's the first step. And if you're not fully developed and fully engaged in loving your soul, you're dealing with a level of ignorance. You're dealing with a level of fear today. You're dealing with a level of lack that you may be in a situation where nothing get you out today except loving yourself in this moment. And so the closer that you get to your inner self, the closer that you realize this wealth. The more you realize you can't go wrong. The more you realize you can't be defeated. The more you realize there can't be a loss. So I just present that to you guys. If you find yourself in a difficult situation, if you find yourself lost, I would say that you are disconnected to your wealth. And so as we begin to elaborate onto the astrology, I want us to keep that in mind, because today is Wednesday. Wednesday is ruled by Mercury. And if we look up the etymology of Mercury, you'll get the word merx, M-E-R-X, which means merchandise or market or money or wealth. See, when you understand Mercury opposed to the moon, see, look at Mercury as a symbol. Mercury as a symbol is the moon at the top. Below the moon is the sun. And below the sun is the human body, or the cross. So Mercury is simply you unifying your sun and moon and body in one being. And you don't just simply do it to be cool on the internet. You do it so you can have speed or purpose to really get something done. It's like, you ever heard the saying, time flies when you're having fun? That's what Mercury is. It's when you have a purpose, when you have a goal, you just look back and you're like, damn, that time elapsed, that period of time, whether it's an hour, whether it's a year, whether it's 20 years, when you have a purpose, time is like this. As we were growing up, time has put us in a place where it was slow. Then as we got older, time got faster. Now, I don't know about you, time is like, I don't even know what it is at this point. I'm trying to figure time out at this point because it moves so fast. But I'm so aligned to my purpose that years begin to turn to months, damn near. And even when you study Hindu mythology and they speak about a god's time versus a human's time, a year in humans' time is just a day in God's time. So the more that we elevate our minds, the more that time seems to speed up. And to me, this is a good thing because that means that we are aligned with purpose. And sometimes that purpose can be negative or positive, though, depending on your clarity, which we beat that topic to death. So I'm not going to focus on that. If you want to understand clarity, which is kind of ironic that the video is not that clear, but I'm talking about clarity, tune into that video yesterday. But ironies make up the world. We live in a world full of irony, so get used to it. And so let's just break down some things that are happening with Mercury today as we just deal with some astrology. And so Mercury trine Uranus, because we have this theme, right? Let's have this theme, though, for real, because Mercury today is going into Virgo, where it is exalted, right? So let's keep this theme going with Mercury being in Virgo and Mercury being ultimately your wealth and being deeply connected to your wealth. And so as Mercury trines Uranus, is your mind on your change? No pun intended. Like change and then change. Like doing the things that will get you some real equity, some real value, some real purpose. This is what trine Uranus is. And let's just stay on the positive side of this. Let's just stay on the more lighter side, and not light as in light and fluffy, just light as in illumination, as in, okay, we fully went through this Mercury retrograde in Leo and we fully know exactly what we're trying to do. Let's just imagine that we took this Mercury retrograde through Leo, through the second and third decan seriously, and as it goes into Virgo, we can look at this thing clearly. And so Mercury trine Uranus, our mind is focused on our positive change, our life-changing event, catalyst that we can feel coming, and not because we're sitting here twiddling our thumbs and we're hoping. No, we're putting in the work for that thing to reach. We're trying to, like the book by Malcolm Gladwell, The Tipping Point. We're there. For good, bad, or ugly, we're reaching the tipping point with our work. And our mind is focused on that, and we know that we're moving into a trine. And so, and now we're dealing with Mercury in conjunct Chiron. And Chiron is in Aries. And this is a particular vibe. This is a particular zone. What is Chiron in Aries? Just look at the music from 1968 to 1977. And that was the time that Chiron was in Aries. Like, if you just want a vibe where you got, you know, Woodstock, avant-garde jazz, John Coltrane, you know, Eric Dolphy, like everybody is going crazy musically, and then all of a sudden it just stops and we go straight into, you know, disco. Like, how? What happened? It just went away. And so to me, from 1968 to 1977, that energy, you were able to make your mark, though. So that music still lives on to the day, to this day. And so I'm saying that to say, even if this shit don't last forever, you can still make your mark if you're in a unique mindset where you're not following everybody. You're doing some shit that you really want to do, and it really feels good, and it looks good, and it may just be a moment in time, but you're showing up. You're being present. You could be like the voodooist. The voodooist works in the moment, the present time. The voodooists don't live in a sense of look at all this stuff that I got. You know, it's just, if you want something done in this moment, it could happen. It could go down. And you either have this memory or you won't. You understand? So it's kind of like that in a sense where, you know how people like, well, I don't really get into that voodoo. I don't understand that voodoo and things of that nature. But if you witnessed it, or if you've been in those situations, or you've been in those rituals, can't nobody tell you that it ain't real. So it's the same thing, you know. But you would first gotta be in those situations, show up, be present, and understanding that wherever you're at, you have the opportunity to heal yourself. And as we deal with the card of the day, I want you to keep that in mind. Wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, however much money you have, if you're homeless, if you're rich, it don't matter. You all have the opportunity to heal yourself in this moment. So stay tuned. Okay, Mercury in conjunct Mars. And basically what this is saying is that your intuition is attached to action. See, if you just sitting back thinking like, you know, say for instance, you just walking having intuitive splashes and flashes of time, you know, you seeing shit and you feeling shit, you having all of these amazing dreams, but you ain't doing shit. You ain't even text nobody. You had a vision, you had a whole dream about your baby daddy. You ain't even call him because you mad. You understand what I'm saying? So it's really important that we get out of the idea that, you know, intuition is just some passive thing that happens in our mind and in our lives. No, intuition is attached to an action. You have to do something. That's when it is even called intuition. If it's just an epiphany or an idea or something that's just happening in your mind, it really don't amount to shit. It's only something when you have an action behind it. And this is an in conjunction. You may not understand that. You may not understand how this dream that you had last night, or this vision, or this overall feeling is inspiring you to do something. And so keep that in mind as we deal with the card of the day, because wherever that fear is, there's something to it, you know. But we have to begin to act towards that fear at this point. We too grown, we too spiritual, we too conscious in the game to be afraid of spiritual stuff. I'm not talking about, you know, walking down the alley at night. I'm talking about, you know, dealing with yourself. There's a difference between it. I'm not talking about doing something dangerous. I'm just talking about addressing your fear. Sextile Venus is, you know, Venus is a vibe. At this point, it's two different types of people. It's people that are cool with letting things go, knowing that there's dharma in the world, knowing that there's a higher purpose, knowing that they can work for something higher. Then it's people who refuse to let go. And that could be an ideal, that could be an idea, that could be a situation, a circumstance, a house, a baby daddy, a baby mama, a ratchet cousin. You know, that refusal to let go and the trouble that comes along with it. You have to understand dharma versus karma and align yourself to the dharmic situations and simply let those karmic situations go because they do not serve you. There is no other way to put it. Especially now, this energy ramps up, this energy gets serious. And what are you going to do about it? And it's not even you. It is the people that you choose to deal with. And then their decisions that they make and how their decisions begin to reflect on you. That's karma. And that's some shit that you don't got nothing to do with. Or you can't do nothing about. Except cut that person, that weakest link, that chain that decides to do its own thing, that don't want to do the things that's even going to grow you. Or even perpetuate a higher ideal. It'll just keep you in the same stagnant place, the same stagnant position. There is no growth. There is no development. And so that's not where we're at. Where we're at is major growth, major development, and the people that were there can't know that aren't on that, you have to make serious decisions. And so the moon is making a grand trine with Jupiter and Neptune. And really, can you carry forth through this day, September 5th, fully cognizant, fully aware of your spiritual wealth, your connection to source? Or are you grounded in being connected to material things, and good luck with that? Seriously, there is no solution. I have no positive words for a connection to anything outside of yourself. It is not gonna help you to be afraid of anything, because when you're connected to yourself, there is no reason to be afraid. And so if there is fear there, that is clear that you're not connecting to self. And what we deal with is simple solutions to complex problems on this channel. And it might just be like, damn, it can't be that simple. Well, that's your problem to think that it's not that simple. It's not my problem, because I realize that it is that simple. You address your fears. You go straight toward your fears. You don't run from your fears. Your fears are not there to kick your ass. Your fears are there so you can confront them, overcome them, become a better person. To isolate yourself, to think that you'll find a solution in a YouTube video and a Facebook post or an Instagram story is ludicrous. Your salvation comes from within. And don't be ignorant to yourself. Don't be ignorant to your wealth moving forward. Hope this message is very clear, and I'm not making it to where this message confuses anyone. So, the card of the day, 7 of Cups, Ace of this, and the Moon. And so we're setting ourselves up for a spiritual experience, but what are you addicted to? Are you addicted to the material world, or are you addicted to your spiritual journey, your spiritual attainment? Or are you addicted to Percocets, Molly Percocets, Molly Percocets? You take a Xanny before you go to sleep? Not judging, I'm just saying. This world will have you in a weird ass situation if you're not connected to self. And so people will say, people will feel, people will do. But when it comes to you and yourself, it may be a little eccentric. It may be a little weird. It may not be connected to the masses. And you got to be okay with that and keep going and keep trucking. And when you realize this, you'll receive the gift, the ace of this, or your talent. And when you get that gift, it ain't your responsibility to hold it, to hoard it, and act like it's all yours now. Because there is no lesson in that. There is no salvation in that. Once we lose the fear, we learn to share, we learn to give, we understand that, listen, if I gave you $20,000 and came back in a year and you had nothing to show for it, then you would just be broke. That if I gave you $20,000 and you invested it, then maybe you could leave a legacy for your children. People have left legacies with less. So when we're really doing the spiritual shit, and we're really trying to do spells and do magic to get money, but we have no literacy on what to do with the money once we get it, then we're doing ourselves a disservice. We're doing ourselves a major, we're serving ourselves a major loss. Because we've all had hella amounts of lump sums of money that we either invested and did the smart thing with, or we didn't. So this is more or less what talent is. This is what spiritual realization is that we cannot continuously do the same shit over and over and over again. We have to fully understand. And so as we deal with the bottom tier, the 10 of this is really speaking to that inner wealth, cultivating that inner wealth, cultivating that inner connection, and not looking at this thing as getting this external wealth, this external, all of this money out here. When you got all of this money within inside of you, you got so much wealth, so much ability. Please don't sleep on latent and hidden abilities, latent and hidden talents. Don't act like that's not a thing. When you say, I don't got no talent, I don't got no ability, I don't got shit. I'm in a bad situation right now. Are you closed off to the spiritual attainment that's within you? You must be to say something like that. And so I just want to be clear and hope that you are sure that your wealth is an inner thing that will manifest on the outer level. Your success is relative to you getting rid of all false beliefs. And then once you get the success, once you get this boon, once you get this bag, you have to fully embody this emperor energy. Because if you have it and you don't know how to manage it, you don't know how to cultivate it. See, the emperor is ruled by Aries, which is ruled by Mars, which is fire, but it's not like fire like a wildfire. It's like a fireplace or like a bonfire. It's very controlled and very purpose orientated, purpose driven. It's just not a fire for no reason. It's a fire to warm up the house. And so, with that being said, I just want to, I could only hope that this message resonated, that this message was clear enough that people could understand it. Because it was a very important message to me that I get out and that it be clear and that it makes sense, because I feel as though it definitely could help a person. So, I have to listen to this again. They said that some people said that it's cool. Some people say, some mic problems and things like that. Yeah. I was just reading over these comments because I had to kind of shut down the comments through when I was doing the message because it kind of distracted me a little bit, but I don't like being distracted, so I just have to do things to remove those distractions. And the chat's still there, it's just not popping up on the screen as much. But just want to invite people to hit me up, hoodmystic@gmail, www.hoodmystic.com. If you're interested in an astrology reading, if you're interested in a tarot reading, everything's available on hoodmystic.com. Just look at the readings, consultations tabs. If you want to fully elaborate on these testimonials, you can look at the testimonials there. You can read them all individual experience. Like individual experiences that I had with other human beings, like real readings, people that I don't know from Adam. It's like incredible energy that's generated when you get an astrology reading. And I think that astrology readings are bomb because to me, I see astrology now as a story. I clearly see astrology as a story. So I'm not just going to give you an astrology reading like you have a sun in Pisces and you have a Mercury and blah, blah, blah. And just going like, I'm going to look at your astrology chart, find the story, and really give it to you as I see fit. So please hit me up, hoodmystic@gmail.com, www.hoodmystic.com if you're interested in getting more knowledge on that. What else? Oh yeah. As far as cursing goes, all I can say is that I'm not a part of religious thought. So when people like think that cursing is bad, I want to challenge you into figuring out why do you even think that cursing is bad, or anything to that sort. Because generally we're dealing with the power of words, and so a lot of times we have been raised, we have been taught out of our power with our words. We don't use our words correctly because we haven't studied the etymology of words, and so a lot of what I do is keeping people out and drawing people in. And that's why, yeah, my headphone voice is down. It said my voice is distorted. I don't know. Well, I'll just listen to this again. I should have recorded this, but I didn't. I have to figure this out. So y'all have a good day.